Krampus. The ancient Alpine legend of Krampus, the fearsome horned companion of Saint Nicholas, who punishes the wicked while his saintly partner rewards the good. In the snow-covered Alpine villages, where church bells echo across mountain valleys and ancient pagan memories linger beneath Christian traditions, there exists a figure that parents invoke when their children misbehave, a creature far more terrifying than any lump of coal. His name is Krampus, and on the night of December 5th, he walks abroad seeking those who have earned his attention. The story begins centuries ago, long before the current era, in the time when Christianity was spreading through the Germanic lands and encountering the old ways that had governed those mountains since time immemorial. The people worshipped Saint Nicholas, the generous bishop who left gifts for good children, but they also remembered older, darker spirits from the days when different gods ruled these peaks. One bitter winter, the villages of the Alpine region suffered greatly. Crops had failed, livestock had sickened, and the people struggled to survive. Worse still, a spirit of selfishness had crept into the hearts of many. Children had grown disobedient and cruel. Adults hoarded what little they had, refusing to share with neighbors. The warmth of community that had helped the mountain folk survive previous hardships seemed to have frozen solid. Saint Nicholas, observing this moral decay, knew that kindness and generosity alone could not restore balance. Those who did good needed rewards, yes, but those who persisted in wickedness needed consequences. Without accountability, virtue loses its meaning. As the holy bishop prayed for guidance, a figure emerged from the deep forest, a creature from the old times, neither holy demon nor holy beast, but something in between. He stood as tall as a grown man, but his form was twisted and wild. His body was covered in dark fur. His legs ended in cloven hooves. His face was a grotesque mask with burning eyes, and from his head curved massive horns like those of a mountain goat. He carried chains that rattled with each step and a bundle of birch switches for punishment. On his back he bore a large basket, empty, but waiting. The creature bowed before Saint Nicholas with surprising courtesy. His voice, when he spoke, was like wind through a winter canyon, cold but not entirely without respect.
Holy One, I know why you have called me, though you may not realize you did so. I am Krampus, servant of the old ways, enforcer of consequences. You reward virtue, but you need someone to punish vice. I offer my services.
Saint Nicholas studied the demonic figure before him, understanding the danger of accepting such help. To ally with a creature of darkness could corrupt his own mission. Yet he also recognized a truth. A world with only rewards and no consequences is a world where justice cannot exist. He spoke carefully.
If you serve with me, you must follow certain rules. You will come on the night before my feast day, December 5th. You will punish only those who truly deserve it, the cruel, the selfish, the deliberately wicked. You will frighten, but not truly harm. And you will always leave room for redemption. Do you accept these terms?
Krampus grinned, showing sharp teeth.
I accept, Holy One, but know this. I am not gentle, and I am not kind. I am what the wicked have earned.
And so the partnership was struck. Each year, on the night of December 5th, Krampusnacht, the demon would descend to the villages, while Saint Nicholas prepared for his own rounds on December 6th, his feast day. In the village of Oberndorf, there lived a boy named Heinrich who was known throughout the valley as the worst child anyone could remember. He stole from his younger siblings. He mocked the elderly. He kicked dogs and threw stones at birds. He lied without remorse and delighted in making others miserable. His parents had tried everything: punishments, lectures, taking away privileges. Nothing worked. Heinrich simply laughed at their efforts and grew worse with each passing year. The other children avoided him. The village elders shook their heads in dismay. As December approached, Heinrich's mother made one final attempt to reach him. She begged,
"Please, son, Krampusnacht is coming. Saint Nicholas will visit the good children, but Krampus comes for those who have been wicked. I fear for you."
Heinrich sneered.
Fairy tales for babies. I'm not afraid of your made-up monsters.
On the evening of December 5th, the village grew quiet as darkness fell. Families gathered indoors, good children excited for St. Nicholas's visit the next day, while those who had misbehaved looked nervously at the shadows beyond their windows. Heinrich sat by his family's hearth, eating more than his share of the evening meal and bragging about the gifts he would demand from St. Nicholas. He declared,
I don't care if I've been bad. I'll take what I want anyway.
Then, at the first stroke of midnight, the sounds began. Chains rattling, hooves on cobblestones, a low, rumbling laugh that seemed to come from the earth itself. The temperature in the room plummeted, and the fire in the hearth flickered despite no wind. Heinrich's father stood, his face pale. He whispered,
Bolt the door.
But it was too late. With a crash that shook the entire house, the door burst inward. There, filling the doorway with his massive form, stood Krampus. His horns scraped the ceiling. His eyes glowed like forge coals. The stench of brimstone and wild animals filled the air. Heinrich, for the first time in his life, felt pure fear. Krampus rumbled, his voice making the walls tremble.
Heinrich, I have watched you this year. I have seen every cruelty, every theft, every lie. Your name is written in my book of the wicked.
The demon advanced into the room, chains dragging behind him.
Some children need only a warning, a few switches from my rod to set them right. But you, boy, you have earned special attention.
Krampus reached for his basket.
You will come with me tonight. Into the basket you go, carried back to my lair in the mountain depths. There you will see what becomes of those who choose wickedness over kindness, cruelty over compassion.
Heinrich tried to run, but his legs wouldn't move. He tried to scream, but his voice caught in his throat. Krampus's clawed hand reached for him.
Wait.
Cried Heinrich's mother, throwing herself between them.
Please, mighty Krampus. He's my son. There must be some way to spare him.
Krampus paused, one eyebrow raised.
Your son has shown mercy to no one. Why should he receive it?
She sobbed.
Because mercy is what separates us from true monsters. If there is no path to redemption, then what hope exists for any of us?
The demon was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke, his voice slightly softer, but still terrible.
There's one way. The boy must perform 3 tasks before dawn. 3 acts of genuine kindness, without expectation of reward, without complaint or hesitation. If he can do this, I will release my claim on him. But if he fails or refuses, into the basket he goes for a year and a day.
Heinrich, finding his voice at last, nodded frantically.
Yes, anything. I'll do it.
Then we begin, Krampus declared. With a gesture, he conjured visions in the fireplace flames.
First task. In the poorest cottage at the edge of the village, the widow Frau Gertrude has no firewood. You will take your family's woodpile, all of it, and carry it to her door. Your own family will freeze unless you share what you have hoarded.
Heinrich looked at his father, who nodded slowly. Though it would mean hardship for them, they would survive. Together, Heinrich and his father loaded the wood onto a sledge and hauled it through the snow to the widow's cottage. With each step, Heinrich felt something strange, a warmth that had nothing to do with physical exertion. When Frau Gertrude answered her door and saw the wood, tears streamed down her weathered face. She whispered,
Bless you. I thought I would freeze tonight.
Second task, Krampus intoned when Heinrich returned.
Young Thomas, the baker's son whom you tormented all year, calling him stupid and clumsy. You will go to him and apologize, not with empty words, but with true remorse.
This was harder than hauling wood. Heinrich's pride warred with his fear. But finally, standing before Thomas's door, he forced out words he had never spoken before.
I'm sorry. I was cruel to you because I felt small inside, and I thought making you feel smaller would make me bigger. I was wrong. I hope someday you can forgive me.
Thomas, shocked speechless, finally nodded, and Heinrich felt another piece of ice around his heart begin to melt. Third task, Krampus said, his eyes boring into Heinrich's soul.
This is the hardest. Tomorrow, when St. Nicholas comes, you will give away every gift you receive to children who have less than you. You will keep nothing for yourself.
But that's not fair. Heinrich protested. Then he saw Krampus reach for his basket and quickly added,
Yes, I'll do it.
The night passed. When dawn broke and St. Nicholas arrived with his sack of gifts, Heinrich watched as the kind bishop left presents for good children. To Heinrich's surprise, St. Nicholas left him a gift as well, a small carved horse, beautiful in its simplicity. Heinrich held it, feeling how much he wanted to keep it. Then he walked to the poorest cottage in the village and gave it to a girl who had never owned a toy in her life. Her face lit up with joy, and in that moment, Heinrich understood something profound. The happiness he felt in giving was greater than any happiness he'd ever found in taking. That evening, as the sun set, Krampus appeared one final time in Heinrich's home. But now the demon seemed somehow less terrible, or perhaps Heinrich was less terrified.
You have completed your tasks. More importantly, you completed them not just from fear, but by the end, from genuine transformation. This is rare. Most who encounter me never change.
Heinrich asked, his voice small.
Will you come for me next year?
Krampus smiled, and it was almost not frightening.
That depends entirely on you, boy. I come for the wicked. Choose not to be wicked, and you need never fear my knock again.
He leaned down, his hot breath washing over Heinrich.
But know this, I am always watching, and if you return to your cruel ways, no task will save you a second time.
Then he was gone, leaving only the scent of mountain winds and pine smoke. Heinrich grew up to be known as the kindest man in the village. He married, had children of his own, and taught them the lesson he had learned, that wickedness brings consequences, but redemption is always possible for those willing to change. Every year on Krampusnacht, Heinrich would stand at his window and sometimes catch a glimpse of a horned shadow moving through the village streets, chains rattling, seeking those who had earned a visit. And he would whisper a prayer, not for protection, but for those souls who would meet Krampus that night, hoping they too would find the strength to choose differently. For Krampus is not evil, though he appears demonic. He is justice personified, the necessary shadow that gives meaning to the light. Where St. Nicholas rewards virtue, Krampus punishes vice. Together, they maintain the balance, reminding us all that our choices matter, our actions have consequences, and redemption, though difficult, is always within reach for those brave enough to grasp it. Today, Krampus traditions remain vibrant throughout Alpine regions of Austria, Bavaria, and other Germanic areas. On Krampusnacht, December 5th, young men dress in elaborate horn costumes, complete with fur, chains, and bells, parading through villages in Krampus runs that blend ancient pagan customs with Christian celebrations. The tradition serves as a darker counterpart to the kindly St. Nicholas, reminding communities that accountability and consequences remain essential elements of moral growth. Modern Krampus fests attract thousands of participants and spectators, keeping alive one of Europe's most striking folkloric traditions.